here on the banks of a small still water, and we've just come off we've had a thaw this morning. We've just come off of 3 days of snow, but it's still pretty cold. Like, we've got a bit of sun just now, but every now and again the cloud comes over and we get a bit of rain, so it's far from ideal conditions. The place is fishing hard as well, but we've got to look at a couple of winter techniques. One in particular, first, if we're looking at lures, because to be fair, it's by far the most effective way of fishing come the winter time, for me anyway. Different than still days, get away with the bulk of it. So I've got here, this is a 10-foot 7 weight still maniac. Now the reason for the 10-foot 7 weight is it's quite windy today. The wind's kind of in my face, sometimes left to right, so I need something with a bit of power to get the flies out there. And quite often with small still waters, and this is true in most still waters, small ones especially, the fish will get pushed further and further out. So if you're a good caster, you get 10 times more benefits than those round about you that can't cast as far, so hence the bigger rod, bigger, more powerful rod. I've got 3 lures that I tend to fish, and I just switch between them really. I've got olive, which is what I've got on just now, which is a damsel. I'll have a cat, which is white, and I'll have a black fly as well, either a rabbit, mixed reed, something like that. The lines that I tend to fish, so this is a slow-mo, this is a vision line. I've got 4 of the lines that I tend to fish. I'll fish a floater, slow-mo, a fast intermediate, excuse me, at times I'll fish a die 3. But the one thing I find, and I always fish a single fly when I'm fishing small still waters, especially lures, is to set your taper up properly so your fly turns round every time. So I've got there a taper leader, 6-foot taper leader. It tapers down to 0.45 diameter, and then I've got 0.32 diameter, which is probably 14-15 pound, and then in the business end I've got half of that. This is 7 pound, this is 0.20, 0.21, something like that, 7 pound. So we've went for a really thick butt taper to a really thin tippet section, and the reason for that construction is it allows me to turn my flies over properly despite the strong wind. So that's the setup. That's how clear the water is. Absolutely gin clear. What a place. Key points, hat and glasses. This water's crystal clear, which I'll show you in the video. I mean crystal clear. So what I'm going to do is, because it's winter time and I'm looking for a reaction straight away, I'm going to start with a roly-poly. So what I do is I do 10 pulls of line. Get that out, 10 pulls of line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so about 10 yards, something like that. Check the edges, always check the edges. I've got a little black marker 10 foot at the end of my line, and that comes in the rod tip. I tend to stop for let's have a wee shot. I've got very little in the way of room on the back cast. God, see that? What we'll do is we'll get that in, get it in beddies, and then we'll start figuring out roly-poly. Wow. Well, that was effective. A lovely big fish as well. Lovely big fish. The banks are a bit muddy, so take your time in the winter. Oh. Make sure you wet your hands. a really good start. What a start that is, eh? Got lucky. I did cut my finger back. Nice short cast. Just make sure you're getting turnover. Turnover's key. When that happens, always check your fly. What can happen is you can get a dull hook point or the tail can wrap. I got away with that one. Quiet. And I've just retied another fly on. As you can see, probably it's flat calm where I am, so I'm at the top of the wind. I've came out of the wind. Present the flies a bit better. But I think having that really long leader's paid dividends. So again, I'm going to do 10. I've no need to cast any further. Got a foot on there. Probably 8. I'm very careful of the bank here because it's very, very muddy. He tries to slow figure 8 this time. I'm watching the loop of line at the end of the road. In winter, for some reason they really like a fast retrieve. Obviously, the colder they get, the slower you want to go. And this water is cold, like I say, because we've had a lot of snow. I'll just check it and see if anything forms. Making sure I'm getting turnover all the time. Really muddy. So I'm going to tuck this figure 8, keep an eye on the rod tip, and you'll see when that stays tense and that line stays taut, obviously that's a T. There's my marker. Swing the rod up to the vertical. Anything following? Nothing. Angle my cast a little further over to the right. Again, I'm just increasing the distance that I'm fishing. We're starting to lose the light a little bit. Same retrieve. The fish are obviously quite high. Obviously that change in temperature has made a difference because they have been a bit deeper than this. Swing the rod, swing it up. Check the fly in, the bank in, roll into my forward cast. I've got to go over to the left this time. It's a rubbish cast. Sometimes if you stop, let the fly sink, and as you start moving it again, they'll take. It's a nice little trick to have up your sleeve. So I've got to pull a little line off, so my next cast I get a little bit further out, a couple more water. So it looks like they've moved a little bit further out, so I want to get a cast a little bit further out. And that's why you need that taper to get the turnover. Give it 5 seconds. always looking. See if I can see anything moving. This place is a quagmire. You'll have a few casts here. However, that's my back cast. I've got a very small window of opportunity. Best place to film. I'm not going to get much of a cast. He's got wet hands. Here he is. Lovely fish. Keep the net up under him. Right out. These are the lures that I tend to fish. I'll try and keep this a bit still while we do this. So that's my tippet, 7.3, and that's the tippet I use. It's nice thin diameter, so it lets my flies move really well. I didn't use a lot of that. I probably got 6 foot on the end, so my taper makes up the most of it. 6 foot taper, 6 foot of that thicker diameter, and then onto this stuff. So about 18 foot leader. This little damsel is always my first fly. When I come onto a new area, a new peg, if you're fishing competitions, that's my starting fly. If the take's dry up on that, in clear water, I go white, and it's this particular cat that I use. You'll notice they're all barbless hooks. This one, tungsten bead. This one, brass, so I can fish it a bit slower. But like I say, that one's the second choice for clear water. Finally, I've got a micreed. Again, this is a dark micreed. This is a dark olive. I'll go with a tungsten bead. I much prefer it. So if the water's got a little bit of colour, I'll go for this one to that one. It's very rare that I fish white and coloured water. I tend to fish silhouette flies, and each of these flies, roly-poly, fast figure of 8, or jerky retrieves. That's the retrieves for this stuff. If the fish were playing really hard ball, I'd come off these lures. I'd fish static or on the drop. I'd use rabbits, something with no weight whatsoever. So that's the flies, that's the tippet to give them loads of action. And you've seen the retrieve. The retrieve the days, for some reason, it's roly-poly. The fish are obviously high and they want to chase. We've had a big change in temperature, and I think that's key. So let's have a wee look, see if we can catch some more. Try and aim here. Oh, just shot a stabby. see how quick that was. Oh. There you go. When they fall off like that, just check your hooks. Same cast in the same area. Fish there was tension that way, keep a bend in it all the time. I know roughly where the tip of my line is, so got to tuck that. Tuck it. Another cast. Tree there. Fly change, I want the black now. The takes have died down a little bit on the olive. I had one in the white, so now we go jet black. So the time it's took me to lose my fly up the tree, and retie a new fly on, it's had a little bit of rest. So hopefully if I get a cast without snagging a trout, because that's the problem, I've not got much of a back cast really. Give that 5. I've had a few fish out of here now, and my worry is, that's it. Oh, change your fly, change your luck, there you go. So all I've done is change my fly. I've changed my fly, stuck it out in this area, and we're in again. A little one this time. Feisty little fellow, but nevertheless. Little one. And because these are barbless, just a case of reaching in, there you go, the fly's out. We're just using a figure 8 now. I've probably roly-poly this to death, so a change in tactics might go a long way. I do like this retrieve. The fly's moving, it's bouncing up and down in the water. A lot of the fish are followed right in the day, and one of the things you see a lot is when people pull the flies out a little bit too prematurely. Cast up to the side. Quite often I've changed the direction, covering new water to make a whole load of difference. What we will do is, just quickly, because we changed that, you see what happens, as soon as we change the fly, we had instant action. We'll change the fly again. This can often happen with stockfish. So there's resident fish in here and there's stockies in here. The residents have been here since March this year. The stockies just went in November, so we didn't stop. That was a take. That was a take there. So the fish are still there. What I might do is quickly switch to white. Like I say, you can make a big difference between the fly, so change over to a white fly. Didn't rush, because you're giving that water a little bit of rest. By the way, if you're young, look after your eyesight, otherwise you'll be wearing these things. Too much fly tying, too many computers. So back into white, which is a good change fly. We've been fishing dull, so I fished olive and I fished black. See what happens with this white thing. Because I've got a funny feeling the results will be instantaneous if I didn't put it up a tree. Nice cast, perfect turnover. That taper helps. There you go. Fish straight away. Was a fish straight away. water, just started to put tightening into fish on. The good thing about white lure is you can see it a mile, so if it gets taken, it just disappears. Like I say, in clear water. Oh, that's terrible. Turnover was non-existent, but give it a bash anyway. I want to try and get a cast here. I've got so much stuff in the boot me. Gotta go for it. I'm gonna go for it. Ah! Ah, bugger. Well, I kind of knew it was getting up. What have I got? Have I got anything left? Oh, I have. So, there you go. We'll call that a day. Winter lures, there's not much that you need. You can go all fancy, however, it doesn't go in my box unless it catches me fish consistently. As you can see, loads of olive, maybe bulked up to be fair. Loads of black. And only a small bit of colour. Really, small bit of colour. The big silvery things, they work really well for brownies. And then, when we go imitative, simple stuff really. Bog standard nymphs, all barbless. On a 10 and a 12 and a 14. Sun's starting to go down now. So there you go. Pulling lures in the winter, there's no much beats it. What I would say is chop and change your line. Always start off at the top when it's a warm day and work your way down. If it's a cold day, start at the bottom and work your way up. My first fly is always that damsel, but the tapering in my leader's key because I can turn it over in the wind. The 10-foot-7 way, I can cast it miles, I can cast further than everybody else, and you've seen today just how effective that's been. So if you want to catch fish in the winter time, get on the lures, learn how to fish them properly. Roly-poly, fast figure 8, or that short jerky retrieve. Tungsten bead goes a long way on your lures, by the way, let me tell you that. Yeah, next time we'll probably look at a different method. So, I really hope you enjoyed that, folks. If you did, please be kind enough to subscribe to the channel. Take care, bye bye.